And I must say, I've been seeing this for at least the better part of 10 plus years, and you've done a great job organizing these conferences. Beautifully done. So let me pick up by talking about, we've got probably a very interesting day ahead. GST reforms just came through. So hopefully that is going to help consumption, and it's going to help this industry as well. But on that note, let me talk a little bit about what the panel here is. We're talking about the ability for startups in this industry to be able to, A, get access to capital.
We didn't try to raise money. And that's because I'll first start with what doesn't work, which is when you start so young, you don't have a vision of what is possible. So I had no clue about this ecosystem. And I didn't have a belief that there'd be people willing to put money on me. So I didn't even ask for it. What we did ask for is for people to join our mission. So we started creating campaigns around what the ordinary citizen can do about climate change. And our message was very simple. Whether you're an individual or an organization, let's pledge to reduce your greenhouse gas emissions by 10% every year, and our app will help you do that. So we really started putting these campaigns out there. And what happened next was something I could have never imagined, which is that people started coming on the app, taking climate actions, and we really witnessed how one action inspired 10 others and created a ripple effect. So our campaigns, our challenges on the app reach over 25 million people around the world. And then I started getting...
I have good relationships with all our investors for that reason. And I found their advice quite valuable because as Akshay was also mentioning, it does help us zoom out a lot. Sometimes as a founder, you get lost in the operations and this challenge, that challenge. But then when you zoom out, it's actually okay. And, you have to look ahead on what to do next. So I found it productive. And in terms of valuation, I think we've mostly been satisfied with what we've gotten. But of course, at the end of the fundraise, you have to sort of agree. You have to take a decision based on which investors you want on board as well. You also don't want to overinflate the number, which will create problems later on. And I think at least we saw natural concurrence emerging amongst our investors, the people that we were really looking at to close the round. There was a figure that everyone was sort of circling around, and we were like, okay, that makes sense. So I think that you have to go into it with something in mind, but you also have to have that flexibility to see.
I think the first part of your question regarding valuation, at the end of the day, of course, we would want all to be as big of a number as we can dream of, but at some point you have to agree to it. And at the end of the day, I think it comes down to what feels right in your heart when you're signing the papers. If you feel yes, you always have to give something up more than what you would have thought, but you should also have the ability to walk away if the number is too low. I think that's the right balance you have to find. As for the investors, it depends what you're looking for. And we have been lucky in that we have investors who have just given us money and taken a step back. But we also have investors who are looking to guide us. And I think the biggest learning has been that sometimes as founders, we're so engrossed in our business that we don't think bigger. So, when we, let's say, think of, I want to build a 1,000 crore company, an investor might come along and show you, well, there's a path to 5,000 or whatever, So I think that's very important that they push you, but in a
timing is very important. How badly we need the capital at the time we are raising funds. When your business is in crisis and you need to just, navigate through, I don't think you are in a position to negotiate on the valuation at all. Having said that, I think valuation is more about perception. So you might feel, we are so married to our idea and our company. We feel, at least 100 crores valuation is fair enough. So personally talking, like our company is mainly focused on IP. We are not at a revenue stage where, we can have multiples around that. We are mostly centered around IP. We like to position ourselves as a technology-driven, innovation-driven company. So how do you value innovation? It depends on what products you have. So again, it becomes very different for the different segments, the industry you are in. If you are a D2C brand, the valuation is very different. There, revenue and numbers are very important. If you're a technology company.